Hey there, my friends. It's Kelly here, and today I want to help you get more organized in your business as we get ready to tackle this new year. So, every year I dedicate time to getting my business super organized in the beginning of the year. I usually do this, I start this practice around the end of December, and then I finish tying up loose ends in the beginning of January so that I can hit the ground running. So today I'm sharing 7 practical things that I do every year to set myself up and my business up for success. So let's jump in. Okay, so the first thing that I do, as much as I hate doing this, but the very first thing that I do is I clean up my digital files and folders. I was one of those people that would put files and folders in all sorts of places on my computer, and then whenever I needed them, I could never find them. Imagine you're getting ready to go sign a new client and you needed to print out, let's say, a contract or a authorization form to take credit card payments, and you can't find your files. Yeah. So I've totally been there and have done that. And so over the course of the past several years, I have gotten really good at trying to keep my files organized. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit of behind the scenes of what that looks like. Now, part of this process is cleaning up files, getting rid of old junk that I'm never ever going to look at, and relabeling folders so that I can find things more easily. I'm going to share something with you right now so that you can see what this might look like. So for example, this is the inside of my Dropbox. And as you can see, I have things coded and organized. And then what I do is at the end of the year, I will have all these various other files that I never actually put away where they belonged. And I will go through them one at a time to organize them and put them in the proper folder and file. Doing this once a year helps me versus if I do it over a course of 3 years, then it's a hot mess in there and then I just want to avoid it altogether. Okay, the second thing that I do is purging old physical files. So if you watched the video where I talked about how to be organized for tax time, I'm actually going to put a link to this video right down in the description so you can go back and catch this video. But I also purge all my physical files. I go through my filing cabinet, I pull old files, I shred what I don't need anymore. I make space for new things. I only keep what's required for tax or legal purposes. And then I label any files or folders that I need for the upcoming year. So that was number 2, hard copy, folders, and files. The third thing, which is also something that I resist doing, but doing this has really helped streamline my time, streamline my processes, and has just made me more efficient, is organizing my photos, my photo files that are on my computer. So again, I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes of what this might look like. And you will see that this here is my folders from last year. Last year I did this and I came up with some folders and I did pretty well this year in 2024, keeping things organized. But then I still have a few that are, at the end of the year, I have to go back through. And so I will go through every one of these folders and make sure that the photos that are in there are relevant, if they make sense, make sure that I have what I need, because when we are marketing and we're trying to share things out there, the last thing you want to do is to try to find a picture of something. Okay, so that was number 3, organizing photos. Number 4, the fourth thing that I like to do every year is refresh my client onboarding process. So what I'll do is I will go through, and if it needs to be updated or it needs to be streamlined, how I welcome new clients into the business. So if you don't have a process for this yet, this would be a great time to start one. Start having an onboarding process. What does that process look like? Because, those first impressions kind of matter, and a smooth process for you saves time for you and your clients. So you'll want to review things like client emails. Maybe there's a communication email that you send when you're onboarding a new client. If there's contracts that you need to have signed when you're working with a client. And I'll actually put a link below this video also for a link where you can go and buy my entire contract bundle. It has all the contracts that we use in there inside our welcome packet. And then you'll test any onboarding system you have, like Where do I find these folders? Do I print them out in hard copy? Do I take them to a client's house? Back in the day, so for example, maybe you still do things old school. Maybe you still use paper. So before I went digital, I just bought white folders from Staples, and I take a business card and stick the business card right in the front of the folder here in the little space. And then I would put all of the documents that I would use when onboarding a client in the folders, and then I would always have them ready. So maybe you're still using paper, maybe you've gone digitalized, whatever your process is, just go through that process and see, does that process still work? Do you need to streamline it? Do you need to update it? Because if you do it now, then you know you have the entire year, you're already set up and you're ahead of the game. Okay, so that was 4, check the client onboarding. Number 5, a scorecard. So a scorecard is basically a document that you create that has numbers on it that you want to be tracking in your business. So big businesses would call these numbers KPIs, or key performance indicators. What I like to track are numbers like all of my marketing efforts, how many times I'm networking, if I do an email newsletter, how many newsletters am I sending out, if I'm doing social media, how many social media posts am I making, where are all of my inquiries coming from? That's one of the most important things you want to be tracking on that scorecard. How much are you making in sales? How many packages have you sold? How many hours are you booking per week? And that is a document that you should be updating on a monthly basis at minimum. I update mine every week, but you want to be updating it at least once a month, although you should really do it every week. But come up with a tracking system for the whole year ahead so that you can be tracking these key metrics in your business, and it'll just show you, like, am I progressing where I want to go, or am I slipping off where I don't want to be? And then, of course, if you're a member of Fully Booked Business Club or our 100K Club, you know that I have provided a full-scale scorecard for you inside your customer hub. Okay, so that was scorecard. So the 6th thing I do every year is updating my copyright information on my website. So in my coaching business, I have a main website, but I have multiple sales pages. So my process is a little more tedious. We have to go in and update the copyright on the bottom of all of our sales pages. But if you just have one simple website, you want to just make sure that you've gone in and updated your copyright information. And so I'm going to share that with you, what that might look like. And you can see here down at the bottom, we already changed the copyright information for 2025. Then if we were to go to any of my other pages, you'll see it's all updated at the bottom, in addition to all of my sales pages as well. So if you have a website, you want to make sure that you've updated your copyright information. That was number 6. And the 7th thing that I do every year is auditing all of my tools. So if you're in business, you are probably always downloading and signing up for the next big thing, right? You've probably signed up for 4 different CRMs and 3 different tracking softwares and 2 different softwares for where you're tracking your mileage. Or I've done this too. I've had signed up for so many things, and at the end of every year I go through all the things that I signed up for. Whatever I'm not using, I cancel, I get rid of. And this isn't just ones that I pay for, but it's also for ones that I'm just not using. I just deactivate my account, and then there's less chance that my information or my passwords and so forth are floating around on different types of platforms and forums where I'm not actively using that information. So the easiest way to do that is to list out every tool or software that you're using, whether it's free or paid for, and then go back and ask yourself, am I using it and does it add value? If you're not using it or it doesn't add value to your life, then cancel unused subscriptions, explore alternatives if needed, or just get rid of things that you're not using. So that was number 7, auditing your tools. So those are the 7 tasks that are on my checklist every year, my end of year checklist. What is something that's on your task to-do list? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. Until next time, bye for now, friends.